So as we get started, we are going to put that poll up as we talked about. So the question on our poll today is, how do you primarily use career assessments with your students? So I am going to launch that poll for you guys. So we have a couple of choices here, and on this, you can choose all that apply. So, do you use it to help your students identify potential career interest, guide students in selecting relevant coursework or electives, creating personalized career exploration plans, provide students with a starting point for career counseling, or to help students identify in-demand careers with a certain wage threshold, or I don't use career assessments with my students, but I would like to. So those are your choices, and choose all that apply. All right, we're getting some answers in. A large majority of you are saying to identify potential career interest. So definitely using it for that. Guiding students in selecting relevant coursework or elective is coming in kind of second. And then third, creating personalized career exploration plans and a starting point for career counseling. So this will be a good starting point for our presenters to kind of know where everyone is in this process of using career assessment. So y'all can see, um, y'all are seeing the results there, and mostly to identify potential career interest for sure. So great. Thank y'all so much for participating in that. All right. So again, welcome to the webinar. I am Shannon Grimsley, the Assistant Director of External Training and Partnerships for the Woodward Hines Education Foundation and the Get to College program. We are recording today's session, and we will send a link to anyone who is registered. For those watching the recording, today's date is October the 7th, 2025, and the material in this webinar is current through the 25-26 school year. In today's session, Explore Mississippi Careers with Skills Navigator, you will hear about a great career exploration resource for your students. So we are really glad to have our presenters here today for that, and you'll see the agenda here on the screen. So next, I want to share a little background on Get to College and a few more logistics about the webinar before we get started. Get to College is a nonprofit program of the Woodward Hines Education Foundation. We have 3 centers in Mississippi, one in Jackson, Ocean Springs, and South Haven, and we help parents, students, and high school counselors with all aspects of college planning and financial aid, and all of our services are free. So we do have 3 physical centers that I mentioned. Exciting news that has just happened, maybe for Marissa and Alicia to know. I think most of our Mississippi folks know, but we also have now a mobile center. So y'all might have seen that, Marissa and Alicia, but our mobile center is going to be traveling across mainly the Mississippi Delta at this point, but have hopes of using that mobile center across the state at some point. And within that mobile center, we will offer the same services that we offer in our physical centers. So in our physical centers, we offer personalized college counseling appointments where we can tell students when to apply for admission and scholarship, help fill out their FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, which opened about a week ago. And we also can advise on essay writing and interviewing. So everything we do in our physical centers, we will also be able to do in our mobile center. So lots of exciting news there on that front. So as we mentioned earlier during the webinar, we cannot see or hear you, but we do ask that you use that Q&A or chat feature to answer any questions that you might have. My coworker Chelsea Williams will be monitoring and replying to the Q&A today, and we will have time for a live Q&A with the presenters at the end to ask them these questions, but feel free to message your questions at any time. We might stop in the middle of the webinar and ask the questions to the presenters, or we may save them till the end. So we'll be keeping up with that. So I would like to now introduce our guest speakers for the day. Our first speaker is Marissa Moore. Marissa is a partnerships program manager at Road Trip Nation, supporting the organizations that fuel Road Trip Nation's storytelling and digital tools by serving as a bridge between Road Trips Nation funding partners and internal teams. With over 15 years of experience in customer and student support facing roles, which of those have been spent with Road Trip Nation, she finds value in Road Trip Nation's mission to empower people to define their own roads in life. Welcome, Marissa. Glad to have you today. And our second presenter is Alicia Daly. Alicia is a senior project manager at Road Trip Nation, where she leads design and development of AI-powered tools and education and workforce development products. With experience in product strategy, data-informed decision-making, and cross-functional leadership, she has a strong track record of shaping impactful solutions in education and career exploration. Alicia is a certified project manager by AIPMM and is a certified data analytics professional from Google. When she is not in the office, you can find her with a nose in a book or jetting off to a new adventure. Welcome. We were just chatting earlier. They are on Mountain Time and Pacific Time, so it is very early for Marissa and Alicia today, even though it's 10 o'clock for us here in Central Time. So they are up bright and early to join us today, and we thank y'all for that. So Marissa, I am now going to turn the presentation over to you, and they are going to be sharing their own screens. So we're going to let them do that.
Thank you so much, Shannon. Really appreciate that warm introduction. And hello, y'all. I know I can't see you, but great to meet you all. Again, my name's Marissa. I'm going to go ahead and kick us off with a little bit of information about Road Trip Nation, who we are, and kind of this project and work we've done alongside Woodward Hines Education Foundation. So let me go ahead and share my screen with y'all. Okay. All right. So again, good morning. Thank you for joining this conversation. I'm really excited to be a part of this project because something that Road Trip Nation, I'll talk a little bit more about what we do, but something that we've done a lot more of since, at least since my tenure here, is kind of focus on more regionally focused projects, which we've seen have some really awesome outcomes and just really empower different regions with these storytelling that we're able to bring to different tools and resources. So without further ado, today we're going to be talking about the project that we've embarked on with Woodward Hines Education Foundation and the Skills Navigator tool. So a look at what we'll talk about. I'm going to give a quick overview, as I mentioned, about who we are, what we do in this project. And then Alicia is actually going to do a demo of the Skills Navigator tool, walk through what it looks like, how to use it with students, and then we'll leave some time for Q&A at the end. I don't know if we'll need the full time that we have here together, so please feel free if you have any questions to bring those. We're more than happy to dive in and see how we can best support you all. All right, so first up, a bit of an overview about Road Trip Nation. So we are, as I mentioned, or as was mentioned in my bio, our mission is to empower people to define their own roads in life. And what that actually looks like is through the work that we do, we again bring storytelling around folks' careers and their lived experiences, backgrounds, and kind of marry that with that career exploration piece. So we are one part media organization, one part education foundation, and powered by the different partnerships we work with. So You may or may not be familiar with us through our documentary series that airs on public television, which is of the same name, Road Trip Nation. And typically, these stories, we send folks out on the road in our big green RVs to interview people across the country and talk to them about their careers. How did you get to where you are today? Where were you when you were my age? And we send typically young people out on the road, though we've worked with learners of all ages. And really, the goal of this is to have folks that are at different um, exploration or turning points in their careers or their lives sit down and have a conversation with someone that's maybe a bit further along in their journey. And we capture those stories on film, and we turn them into documentary series. Something that we started doing early on is realizing that while it's great that this road trip opportunity exists, we can't necessarily send every single person or every single student out on the road. And so we developed different digital career exploration tools that either kind of mirror or model that experience of going out on the road. And so, one of those tools, which is what we're going to talk to you about right now, is the Skills Navigator platform. And again, the goal of this is to really humanize the career exploration experience. So, not just like, what is this job? What does it pay? How do I get into this field? But really kind of looking at folks that have gone down this path and maybe they've come from a totally different background and got to this path. How did they get there? Or maybe they knew from all along, this is what I want to do. And so, really, just kind of opening up that conversation around career exploration. So the project as a whole, we've been working with Woodward Hines Education Foundation for a couple of years now, actually, to develop not only the Skills Navigator platform that Alicia is going to walk through, but also we did some custom interviews in Mississippi, highlighting some key industries that were identified as the arts, healthcare, energy, education, and manufacturing. So, in addition to all of the interviews that already existed in our archive from leaders that we've interviewed over our last 20 some odd years of doing these road trips, we also did some custom interviews for this project, specifically around those industries. And then, as mentioned, we created and put it all together in this platform called Skills Navigator, which we'll talk a bit more about in a second. I did also just want to note that really grateful to the Woodward Hines Education Foundation, who helped connect us with some other partners in this space, as we are also currently, right now, on the road filming a road trip in Mississippi. So you might see the green RV driving around the state over the next about 2 weeks. We're actually bringing 3 students from Mississippi out on a full road trip across the state to talk to people in different careers as well. So, in addition to this tool and the awesome resources and interviews we've already done, we will have a documentary series airing next year on public television and for an online release. So, just something to keep your eye out for or hear more about in the future. All right, and then now kind of pivoting into the Skills Navigator platform. So this is a digital tool. I'm going to let Alicia dive into all the really awesome specifics, but at a high level, as I mentioned, it includes the Road Trip Nation video content. So assets and interviews from all the interviews we've done of folks that live in Mississippi or are part of those career pathways. Excuse me. And then including those recently filmed leaders that we did about a year or so ago for this project. It includes some skill assessment tools, career exploration resources that we've gathered in partnership with Woodward Hines Education Foundation, and an educator guide as well to support you all in how to use this tool. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen and then have Alicia pop in and take it away with a demo.
Great. Thank you. Let me get my screen going. All right. Hopefully everyone can see my screen. I'm going to temporarily turn my camera off just so my Zoom doesn't crash on me. And bear with me as well. I'm getting over a cold, so hopefully my voice sticks with me on this. But good morning, everybody, and thanks for joining. Welcome to Mississippi's Skills Navigator. Like Marissa was teeing up, excuse me, this is Road Trip Nation's new career exploration product, which combines professional development resources and youth-centered video content with the goal of bringing careers to life and creating a transformative journey for young adults on their way into the workforce. Here On the landing page, you'll notice that this version has been customized and tailored in select ways for your unique region. For the purposes of this demo, however, I'm not going to cover too much on this page as it's primarily intended to give some high-level context and just sneak peeks into the content featured within the experience itself. However, before I do jump into everything, I do want to point out that even though this is a self-serve experience and young people are more than welcome to go through this experience independently, um, we have found that it is a better and more enriching experience when it's facilitated either in a classroom setting or at a job fair, etc. So with that in mind, we do provide an implementation guide here, which can be downloaded. So let me show you that. This guide basically gives a breakdown of the whole experience, how to use it, how to best guide young people through it. We also provide down at the bottom here, where is it? Down here, like ideas for optional activities that are basically an opportunity to increase engagement in order to strengthen the impact of the tool. So this is a really great resource for all of you to reference as well. So let's go back up to the top here. So with Skills Navigator, basically our goal, like Marissa was mentioning, is to create a more engaging experience for young people. We want to really empower them to recognize their existing skills, be able to connect them to in-demand local careers in the Mississippi area, and really develop the additional social, emotional, and professional skills that they need in order to confidently pursue a career of their choosing. So how we do this is we start off by guiding young people through a more personalized experience, starting with this quiz style self-assessment. There are 4 questions here, so for the sake of this demo, bear with me as I just kind of quickly go through some of this. Basically, these 4 questions are designed to help them reflect upon where they're at in life and help us understand them a little bit more. And where they could potentially use more skills, tools, or resources to move forward on their career paths. So let me get through this. So depending on the answers that the users select as they go through, they're then going to be assigned a persona. So there are one of 3 potential options: Explorer, Test Driver, and Trailblazer. So as you can see here, I got Explorer. These personas are basically designed to give them options to help guide them to the most relevant career and training resources that are available within the experience, as you can see down here. But for the sake of the demo, I'll proceed through the standard recommended pathway and just go on to the next step, which is to find your skills. So in each step as I go through, you'll see that there is a short intro video that helps tee up for the students what they're going to be doing or thinking about in each step. For time, I won't play each one of these because it's about 2 minutes. But yeah, here in step 2, which is defining your skills, we're actually using the Perkins Collaborative Resource Network's employability skills framework, where students start by identifying and thinking about the skills that they've already been building throughout their various life, school, and work experiences. So we allow them to go through and select those. So we'll just kind of click a couple here for demo's sake. And then we'll go on to step 3, which is exploring careers. So then in this step, this is where they learn how those skills or start to make those connections between how those skills could apply to different in-demand careers in Mississippi by exploring the different options in their area, by watching various day in the life video content from local professionals. So we've reinforced this content by including national level ONET data that gives them a high level glimpse into the various careers that are featured throughout the experience. This was something that was repeatedly asked of us by young people. They really love the videos and find them super inspirational, but they also love hard facts to back things up. Like, what is this career all about? What is it? What am I going to make? How much money am I going to make? All of these things. So this is consistently students' favorite step and like where they spend most of their time to really deepen their exposure to various career, industry and career possibilities that may be of interest to them. They can do this by searching directly within the highlighted industry categories that Marissa kind of touched on briefly in her intro. So we have a few different options for you guys there. But then there's also the ability to go all the way down here at the bottom where we allow them to basically freely search different individual leaders and their videos as well. So if they're not seeing what they're interested in up there, they can search all of the content that we've made available to them that are also local to Mississippi. And this is where they can really hone in and find a career that is of interest to them, or at least different options that they want to potentially explore more. So I'll go ahead and just save a couple of these. We'll go energy. Energy is a fun one. And then we will go to the next step. All right, so then here we come to step 4. So here students will be given access to a selection of local resources and tools that have been provided and put here in collaboration with all of you. So you'll see some things that look familiar, right? Hopefully. Um, so here we have a few categories that we've included. We have education and training, we have job opportunities, we have mentorship, and we have skill development. So we've basically categorized these to help young people identify what is most valuable to them more efficiently. And here they can also save various resources that they can access and reference later as needed. So we'll save a couple of these. And we will go on to the profile. So now that they've gone through the whole experience and saved things, the Skills Navigator journey culminates in this user-generated profile that contains all of the content that they've been saving and interacting with thus far, which can be downloaded and referenced in future. So as you can see right here, I'm going to pause for just a second because there is an important thing to note in particular for facilitators and educators who are bringing their students through this experience. If you've noticed at all in this experience, Skills Navigator is an unauthenticated experience, so we don't require users to create accounts or logins or deal with any of the data privacy stuff, which I'm sure is front of mind for a lot of you guys in this space, making it really super accessible for them to use and for you guys to use it as well. However, the obvious downside of that is that in order for us to retain what has been saved, users do need to make sure to download their profile, which we prompt them to do here. And we also reinforce it for you all in that educator implementation guide as well. If the profile is not downloaded, then, and like the student leaves and then comes back at a later time, they would basically be prompted to start the experience all over again. So for time, I'll just click out of that, just making that a note. So as you can see here, the profile, the student can basically see everything that they've saved and interacted with thus far. They can go back and edit things as they want to if they feel like it, if they've changed their mind on certain things. But here on the profile, we also provide an additional section here for Road Trip Nation resources, where we've basically made available some additional fun things for them, which is our online self-discovery course, the Road Trip Nation Experience, as well as Share Your Road, which is an advice platform for career professionals. And also, it sounded like we're doing a road trip right now as well. So when that road trip is available and has been filmed and has been released, that will go on here as well for students to reference. So yeah, basically, on the same note as far as the download is concerned, that download generates in a PDF format, which can be interacted with either digitally or printed, however you prefer to have them interact with that. The idea is basically that young people can start to use this profile as a tool to help them, highlight and articulate their unique skill stories, whether it be on resumes or cover letters, job applications, etc., with the goal of really equipping them with the confidence to be able to seek out the opportunities that are available to them. And yeah, that's Skills Navigator. I'm excited for any questions that you guys might have and happy to show more. I will stop sharing.
Well, I'm looking in the chat. We don't have anything in the chat nor in the Q&A at the moment.
Will say, I know contracts in Mississippi with Major Clarity have ended with some of the school districts. So I do know that some of the school districts are definitely interested in finding an alternative to that. So for those of you listening, this is definitely a good alternative that is provided for your students. And again, Woodward Hines is working with this organization, so we can get you right to the folks, right, that can help you with this product. So definitely take advantage of looking into this, looking to see how it might help your students uh, there with that. So no questions, right, Chelsea?
Correct. At the moment, no questions. If you guys have any questions, definitely drop them in the chat. As Shannon mentioned,
Mhm.
this could be a great resource for you as Major Clarity is coming to an end. We do have one question. It says,
Okay.
will the links be sent to those that registered? I guess that's a question for for
Yeah.
you, Shannon.
So yeah, we can certainly put that in the follow-up email, the links to the assessment and the educator guide and some of those other things. We can definitely add that afterwards. And then also the recording will be sent to you as well, and we'll add that to YouTube as soon as it's over with. So, all
Right.
right. Well, thank y'all again for all the great information, and we hope that everyone on the webinar found this information helpful. Get out there, play around with it, see how you can use that educator guide in your classroom to introduce your students to this. And if y'all have further questions as you start kind of playing around with it with the tool, let us know and we'll get you to the right folks. So again, we'll post this on YouTube. So immediately afterwards, it'll be there for you to review, re-review, share with your friends, whatever you'd like to do there. Um, so just wanted to, at this point, let you know that today was our third webinar of our Fall Topic Tuesday series. So stay tuned for our next Topic Tuesday webinar, which will be Tuesday, November the 4th. And during that webinar, we'll be discussing navigating options such as early enrollment, such as dual credit, AP, some of the other options that our Mississippi students are looking at. And then we will in December, our topic will be tribal colleges. And then you can see here our spring topics that we'll have throughout the spring semester. So we'll continue this throughout the year. And if you participate in 5 webinars, you'll have the opportunity to apply for 0.5 CEUs. And if you participate in all 10 webinars over the fall and spring, you'll have the opportunity to apply for 1 full CEU. So there are the remaining webinars. We hope we will see you all throughout the year for that. Also, some of the other opportunities, it is fall, it is training season. I see somebody raise their hand though. Tawana, did you raise your hand? Maybe not. If you have a question, throw it in the chat. We'll still answer that. So I'll move through these slides. Um, All right, so training opportunities. Fall definitely is when we're out training. As I mentioned earlier, the FAFSA opened. It actually opened a couple days early, y'all. It opened September the 26th, actually. Reports are that it is moving smoothly, and our students and parents are having a overall positive experience with some of the changes that they've made. But we want you all to feel very comfortable in working with your students. So that is why we offer an opportunity for FAFSA 101 training. We've already done a couple, but we've got a couple more coming up in October, one tomorrow in Colin, Natchez. Then if you're in the Northeast Mississippi Community College area, we'll be having one there on October 21st. And then we'll also be in Meridian on October 21st with that FAFSA 101 training. Then if you can't make it in person, we always offer virtual trainings, and we'll be offering 2 more this fall, one in October and December, and then another one in January and February. We're offering morning sessions and afternoon sessions for these. So pick the date and the time of day that works best for you if you can't meet us out in person for FAFSA 101 training. And then our next group of trainings are called FAFSA 201, and we have had some questions about what does this entail? What do we need? I won't say you have to do FAFSA 101 in order to enroll for FAFSA 201. It certainly helps. We will be doing a little bit of an introduction before FAFSA 201, but what FAFSA 201 is going to be scenario based. So we're going to give y'all some scenarios They're not going to be super easy, but they're going to be some of our harder real life scenarios when working with students. And we're going to kind of talk about how we would counsel students through these difficult scenarios. And then, of course, we'll also take any of your scenarios that you have. But we'll be doing those in person at each center, the Jackson, South Haven, and Ocean Springs centers in late October and early November. So we hope to see you all at one of those. And then again, we'll also offer some virtual dates for that as well if you can't see us in person. So that is the remaining training opportunities that we have. As always, you can contact us on Instagram, Facebook, our training email, which is training@gettocollege.org. And then any other medium here, feel free to always contact us. So as long as there was no other questions, we will end our webinar for the day. And again, thank you so much, Marissa and Alicia, for joining us today, especially at this early hour on the East Coast. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you so much, Shannon and Chelsea. Thank you for keeping us going and for the warm welcome.
You're so welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see everyone in November, and we hope you have a great October. See you soon.